Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM, half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got yours truly, sexiest man on all of Reddit Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here's Second Room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Bringing you a day late, a dollar short NXT review on this Cinco de Mayo here. It was last night, but my work schedule changed up this week, so here 24 hours after the fact, going to review NXT. Now, if you didn't check it out, of course, the first question, well, actually, if you did check it out, I'm going to ask you the first question here is, what do you give it? Do you give it a win, a loss, or a tie? So over here in the chat room or down in the comment section, please let me know what you thought about the show, win, loss, or tie. Me, personally, I'm going to just give it a tie. It happened. I really wish I could say something more positive about it, but for me, it just didn't get me excited. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit why. The first thing we do is we bring out the new NXT champion, Samoa Joe. He's talking about, that, hey, you know what? I'm a man that keeps my word because I'm like death and taxes. I'm inevitable. I'll keep coming. If anybody's got a problem with me being the champion, you're more than welcome to come out, and I will be more than glad to beat you down and choke you out. This brings out the debuting Eric Young. Of course, that got a pretty big pop, and thus it kind of validates, the NXTNA hashtags that people have been sending out all week, because now you're having a little bit more NXT talent debut. Now, of course, one of the things that you've heard, because I know I've heard it, you've definitely heard it. I know that some of the scuttlebutt going around on the interwebs is that between Eric Young and Bobby Roode, they were owed somewhere around the ball together, by the way, were owed somewhere around the ballpark of $100,000 by TNA, which kind of prompted them to leave. But, take that for what it's worth. And for those of you sitting at home wondering, no, Eric Young has not signed with NXT. I think honestly, I don't know if WWE is bringing on these XTNA guys basically just to get new talent, try to build up a bigger brand, or they're just doing it to basically stick it to Dixie Carter and TNA, because why not? They don't even acknowledge them. They'll call them free agents. They'll call them, they don't even acknowledge TNA exists, period. But anyway, he comes out there and he says, well, there's only one thing that changed, and that, and things will change. I collect titles, and you know what? I'll go toe-to-toe with you, to which Samoa Joe virtually just pretty much accepts. He leaves out, so then we've got our main event set. Then we start out with some women's action. We have Tessa Blanchard versus Nia Jax. Nothing special about this match. They locked up. Blanchard got tossed around like a rag doll. At first I thought, okay, Tessa Blanchard's going to use her speed, make a little of a match out of this. No, this thing was over in about a minute. Tessa Blanchard tried this crossbody block, and she just bounced right off of Nia Jax. Just boom, flopped right on the floor. Jax beat her down, hit the leg drop, got the win. About a minute, not much to that match. They needed to do that because they've got to build up Nia Jax you're gonna have to build up a credible threat. Bayley's gonna be on her way moving up. It looks like Asuka's going to carry the women's division for a while, and if she's going to do that, you got to at least have some credible opponents for her to face. People at least make you think, well, maybe the title's in jeopardy. Nia Jax would definitely be one because I kind of like the monster gimmick. Okay, yeah, but Asuka has never faced a straight up monster before, so I like that, and I like that the divas, or they're not divas anymore. I apologize. The women in NXT aren't the same size, aren't the same body types. I appreciate the fact that they've got, larger women, just different body types, because I think that makes things a lot more interesting, because you don't want to see like the same, cookie cutouts, back when when John Laurinaitis was running talent, when he was scouting talent back in the think it was around the it was the early 2000s, because I mean that's when everybody looked the fucking same. I'm talking like Orton, Guerrero, Stone Cold, Dean Malenko, God, just Triple H. Everybody looked the fucking same. Everybody had the same fucking. The good guys were just good guys. The bad guys were all cocky. I mean, it was just they wore similar tights. It was just a mess. So I like the fact that you've got something different. So big fan of that. Next we have Austin Aries versus Ty Dillinger. This was an okay match. Austin Aries and Ty Dillinger tied it up. Actually, it looked like the crowd was a little bit more behind Ty Dillinger. But there was a part where I liked that slingshot. It's like a plancha. He just went over the top rope, did like a corkscrew on top of Dillinger. Aries got into the ring. There was a great move where Dillinger did like this fireman's carry into a neck breaker. Something similar to Feast Your Eyes, what Donovan Dijak and Ring of Honor does. Something similar to that, but I don't think quite like that. And I actually thought that was a 3. I actually thought it was going to be a 3 after that one. But Dillinger was dropping his knee pads for his finishing maneuver. However, Austin Aries got out of it, hit a 450 splash, got the win. Aries is going to have to show me more. I mean, to me, Aries is just falling flat. It's like, to me, Austin Aries has not been the same since he left Ring of Honor. He left there, he went to TNA, he came back, and then he went back to TNA. It's just ever since he left that Ring of Honor, he just, and it was just been kind of falling flat. And I know he's actually pretty good. I know he's a great wrestler. It's just, to me, he's just not doing it for me. And I think one of the things that might have derailed him was the fact I think they were setting him up for a long-term feud with Baron Corbin and wanted somebody for him to work with. And that match they had at TakeOver was a setup for that, was to give Corbin some fire and to give Austin Aries a little extra credibility. But now they've called up Corbin, and it's kind of like, okay, well, what do we do with him now? So I think they really need to do something with him now. I know maybe should put back together the Dirty Heels. I think maybe the tag division could use a boost, and I think the tag division could boost from having the Dirty Heels, having Rude and Aries put back together. And from what I understand, Rude and NXT are still in negotiations. They haven't inked anything deal, but I heard it was pretty promising, because otherwise they wouldn't have shown them on TV at TakeOver had they not been had they not had confidence that they were gonna reach some kind of deal. Same thing with Kota Ibushi. I think they were trying to get something going with him there, and I think I think he'd be a good fit too. But either way around, Austin Aries, as Dave likes to jokes, he went from the greatest man who ever lived to the most average man who ever lived, and I really saw that in that match. Next, we got to some tag action. We had the Hype Bros taking on the Revival. This match, actually, believe it or not, I actually wanted this match to go longer. It started out with the Hype Bros, Revival kind of going back and forth. Eventually, the Revival cuts off one of the corners. They start working on, I think it was Zack Ryder. Then they mixed it up, and there was a blind tag. Raleigh got turned around and thrown into the Shatter Machine. This match didn't even go 5 minutes. I think they really could have done something a little bit more with this. I think they could eliminate one of these earlier matches, one of these squash matches, or one of the matches I'm about to talk about next, and had this go a little bit longer, because to me, just the ending kind of came out of nowhere. They were building up this drama of cutting off the ring for the Hype Bros. Okay, now the Hype Bros have made the tag. Okay, here comes Mojo Rawley. Okay, there's a blind tag by the Revival, and Shatter Machine match fucking over. Now, I know why they did it. They could have had the same thing, but I think the match could have gone a little bit longer, built up a little bit more drama, because you want to have Dash and Dawson look even more badasses. It's inevitable they're going to have a rematch with American Alpha. And I just don't think this was the way to do it. I really wish it would have gone a little bit longer there. The next, backstage, we find out that Alex Riley, he's going to be taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Funeral services will follow immediately. Then we go out to this is turned into, I guess, another squash match here. It was No Way Jose taking on, I actually had to go looking for this guy on the interwebs. On the interwebs, found out this guy was Noah Kakoa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, I apologize. This was just a squash match through and through. No Way Jose actually just starts dancing for almost the first couple of minutes of the match. He does a little bit of mat wrestling. Jose balls up his fist like he's throwing a baseball, punches him in the face, hits him with a half Nelson slam, gets the win, dances a little bit more. Okay, now we've got this debut out of the way. Show me something else. Show me something else besides this guy likes to dance. Just anything. Just show me something. And I kind of like the idea of that half Nelson slam being his finishing maneuver more so than that punch. Because, okay, if you're the Big Show, yeah, I can buy a punch being your finishing maneuver because you're a fucking 7 feet tall, 500 fucking pounds. If a guy was 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, just reared back and cold cocked me, yeah, I can imagine that would knock me out. If your guy's like a professional boxer, has a Golden Gloves, background, somebody like, I don't know, Bart Gunn or Floyd Mayweather, somebody who's like a legit boxer, and actually punch, okay, I could buy that. But if it's just a guy who likes to dance and he punches me, that's just going to piss me off. So I like the fact that they added this half Nelson slam to his finishing, to his arsenal. I don't hate the guy yet. I'm not ready to pass a final verdict on No Way Jose. I just want to see a little bit more, and I want to hear the guy talk. I want to hear why he's there. Why does he dance? Why does he enjoy dancing? What's his goals? Who inspired him to get into the business? Who does he look up to? Where does he want to go? How does he want to get there? Who would he like to wrestle now in NXT? Who would he ultimately like to wrestle on the main roster? There's a ton of things we need to get answered. So I really feel like we need to start connecting with them, because, going out there dancing, doing some moves is not going to get me interested. Having me connect to you as a person, get me emotionally invested in you, that's going to do it. Then we get to the main event, Samoa Joe taking on Eric Young. No, do not adjust your television sets. You're not watching Impact. In fact, actually, I think NXT on WWE Network has gotten more ratings than what Impact has in the past 6 months. Sorry, cheap shot. I apologize. TNA fans. Don't send me hate mail. Just making a joke. Ha. Get it? These two traded blows. It looked like almost like a TNA style match. These two guys were, going all at it here. Young went over the ropes, did a suicide dive, hard takedown. They went to a commercial break. They came back. Joe took over control. Joe went back on the offense, threw Young off the ropes, hit an atomic drop, big boot, senton. Young came back with a suplex, hit some elbows for dropped that top rope elbow for a near fall. Thought that might have got him. He ran into a slam, and then Joe started literally slapping Eric Young across the ring, got him up to the top turnbuckle, picked him up, hit the muscle buster, then turned around and launched him the coquina clutch. Young tapped out. The winner, Samoa Joe, refuses to let go. The referee keeps ringing the bell. Eventually they pry him off. So, it was an okay show. Again, if you're somebody who's new to NXT, or you want to check out, if you got somebody who wants to check out NXT, this would not be the show to introduce them to. But I do like the fact that they did this. They went back to Full Sail University. This isn't like stuff that was filmed at Full Sail University while they were out on tour. And then this was the stuff that they ran like from WrestleMania Access and then another house show. No, this was relatively fresh stuff. So I like the fact that they just kind of skipped over a lot of things. It got us back on track. So I do like that. Now that they've kind of hit the reset button here and they've got, more recent stuff updated. I really want to see what they can do and build up towards the next main event. I just really wish that NXT wouldn't treat a lot of this stuff as throwaway shows. I feel like NXT is doing that, especially with all these squash matches. Now, bear in mind, some people would want Raw to go to that format where they do have squash matches where it's, I don't know, let me just name somebody off the top of my head who's over on Raw right now. Let's just say Cesaro. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Cesaro and his opponent, Ensign Ricky. That is, and people are like, oh, yeah, they should totally do that. It'll get Cesaro. No, it won't. It's just boring matches that you don't want to watch. And it's like No Way Jose versus a guy I've never really even heard of. It just doesn't get me excited. So I guess that's I guess that's why I found a little bit more appreciation for the jobbers now. At least when the Social Outcasts lose, at least when Dolph Ziggler loses, it's like, okay, at least it's like, well, maybe they'll get him next time. It's not a guaranteed squash. So that's the way I'm looking at it. It's not the best show, not the worst either. It's just a middle of the road, 5 out of 10, generic show. So if you're a hardcore NXT fan, you want to see the debut of Eric Young, go forward, check it out. But if you skip it, you're really not missing out on anything, or at least nothing that you haven't already seen or couldn't already predict. If I just told you the matches, like if I said, okay, not telling you anything, I'm just going to tell you, okay, here are the matches. Tessa Blanchard versus Nia Jax, Austin Aries versus Ty Dillinger, the Hype Bros versus the Revival, No Way Jose versus a Jobber, and Samoa Joe versus Eric Young. Who do you think is going to win? Just say, yeah, you're right, because that's what you think is going to happen is going to happen. So it's the way I see it here. Oh, we already got some comments here, so let me go and jump to that. Be sure to get your questions and comments in. We missed you yesterday. Well, I missed you guys too. When do you think Balor will debut? Ray, that's a good question. They did like a little video pack, like a little small vignette on NXT saying that Finn Balor will return next week. I wouldn't bring him back. I'd keep him off TV. I would, because I kind of want to build up the mystique of will he or won't he? Will he go to the roster full time? Will he stay in NXT? And meanwhile, while I'm building that mystique up, I'm giving my former champion a chance to rest. Remember, he's complaining of ankle issues. He's complaining of a banged up shoulder. So while we're building up this whole mystery, will he jump? Will he not? Will he jump? Will he not? Will he stay in NXT? Will he re-challenge Samoa Joe? Will he debut with the Bullet Club? Will he do this? Will he do that? Meanwhile, while you're building that up, he's healing. And he's going to come back. No matter where he goes, he'll come back 100%. So that's what I think will happen. Now, as far as Balor will debut, I think they're going to push this thing back. I just saw a report today that they're gonna push this feud between Reigns and Styles through Money in the Bank. So I guess it could either be Money in the Bank or the Monday night afterwards. So we've got some time here. We might have enough time to do a rematch between Balor and Joe, where they'll solidify Joe, and then Balor will make his full-time leap up to the main roster. But hey, Balor's had a hell of a run, 292 days as champion, set the record. So there you go. Andy Paps, hey Booms, I thought NXTNA was a great win, and I loved the whole show. Hey, like I said, to each his own. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it either. Would you like to see Bullet Club versus Shield? I assume you mean in WWE land. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Will there be a Lucha review? Yes, that is coming up in actually just a few minutes. We're waiting on Dave Coco to get ready. Sammy Sinister is on standby. So here we are. Who will beat Joe for the title? I don't know. All my picks went out the window. I don't think they need to have Finn Balor pick it back up. And my original pick was Apollo Crews, but that's not going to happen. So I don't know. I don't think NXT knows. I guess the other shoe-in would be Nakamura. Would have to be my pick here, because I think the crowd would just go insane for a Joe Nakamura match, especially with a title change. At least that's what I'm seeing, early on here. They could have another rising star, and just because I don't know, they may not put the belt on Nakamura, not because they don't like him or any disrespect. It's just because they want to. I think that may be one of those. They get him as soon as they get him acclimated to the WWE style, they'll go ahead and throw him up on the main roster as fast as they can. He may take the Kevin Owens route where he debuts within like 6 months of showing up on NXT. I mean, that could possibly happen. I think WWE is going to stick it to TNA and maybe put the final nail in the coffin and possibly buy TNA for dirt cheap and add more content to the network. Do you agree? I kind of think they're doing this to stick it to, because I know what you're thinking, because if they're not trying to stick it to TNA, why did they get James Storm? I mean, they hyped up James Storm. He wrestled 2 matches in NXT, and then they made him a better offer, and he just went back to TNA full time. And now you've got they're bringing out Eric Young. He's not signed with them, but not only do they let him show up, they put him in the ring with the champion and let him have a match. They put Bobby Roode up on TV, and they're still negotiating with him. That's not even set in stone yet. He hasn't signed anything. And as far as buying TNA for dirt cheap, yeah, I could definitely see that. They did that with WCW. Oh, they've been doing that with other promotions. They did that, I think it was Jim Crockett Promotions. They did it with the AWA. That's what they do. I mean, they'll get this, because when you do something like that, yeah, you want to have content. You want to offer a lot of things. So, and why not? I mean, it's just content. You can make money off of that, and you don't have to create anything. You don't have to. All you do is just digitize it and put it up there. Why aren't wrestling fans of UFC? No, I think there are a few. I admit that I'm not a big UFC fan. That's not to say that I don't like MMA. I'm just a casual MMA fan. It does not mean I hate UFC. I'm just not going to go out of my way to watch UFC. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. I know I practiced judo at one point, so I know a little bit about what they do and kind of appreciate what they go through. It's just that I just don't know who's who, because their top guys change every 6 months. Like, who's on top? It's like I have no idea who's who now. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy them and what they do and have appreciation for it now. So no, I kind of disagree. I mean, but it's like comparing apples to oranges. I mean, that's like saying, if you like football, how come football fans don't like hockey? Or how come basketball fans don't like soccer? I mean, it's just 2 totally different things. Yeah, they're sports, but it's just, you got to compare apples to oranges. How come golf fans don't like NASCAR? It's just 2 totally different things. Who's the head of talent relations now? I think it is Triple H now. I'm a fan of him. Let's see. Boom's nice. Revenge of the. Oh, thank you. Somebody got the joke. I love it. Thank you. They like my Revenge of the Nerds T-shirt. One of my favorite 80s movies of all time. All right, it would not be a show, and this would not be a show if Free Mastani didn't ask the fuck, marry, kill, spank question. Sasha, Maurice, Stephanie, and Gail Kim. Okay, let's see. I would fuck Gail Kim. I'd marry Sasha Banks. I'd spank Stephanie, and I would kill Maurice. I really miss you when you were back on the Raw reviews. I would, Ray, the reason I don't do Raw reviews, it's not because I don't, well, it's kind of because I don't want to, but I have a different work schedule, like on, for example, it would be on Tuesday, I have to be at work at 5 a.m. So that means I get up just before 4 a.m. to go get ready and drive out to work. So for me to do that, for me to do the Raw review, assuming it only took me an hour to do, assuming it only, assuming we went on the air at 11 p.m. Eastern and only did it for 1 hour, which it would go long, and that Raw never finishes at 11 o'clock Eastern, I would only get maybe 4 hours of sleep. And I just can't, and I work in news, fast-paced, high-stress job, and I have to be able to function, so that's why I don't do Raw reviews. That's why I try to make it up by doing all these shows in the middle of the damn week. So that's the reason why I don't do Raw. It's not because I really don't want to. It's just because I just can't. I mean, I just can't. And plus, I work, overnights on the weekend, so it's hard for me to do pay-per-views. It's just an issue of timing. That's just all that is. Any news on Kenta? You know, I haven't heard anything past the point where they said his shoulder recovery wasn't going as well as expected. Maybe that's something they're keeping under wraps because they're not really mentioning Hideo Itami. They're not really mentioning him, so maybe that's like a surprise or something. I would take advantage of that because nobody's asking questions about that. They haven't released any news on him. I think I'd make him like a surprise opponent. There you go. You know, why not have him go up against Samoa Joe? There you go. Boom. Hideo Itami taking on Samoa Joe, just a surprise, you know, because I think they were wanting to put the title on him and do a run with him. So I'm thinking once everything is fixed up, he should be good to go. When will Bayley debut? Again, your guess is as good as mine. I personally would say at the earliest SummerSlam. Why? Because you're going to have her have time to work with some of the girls and kind of get like a foundation going for the rest. Because think about it, if she leaves, then who's Asuka going to face that people can actually believe will actually beat her? Who? You know, nobody. I mean, they've got fucking nobody else. Nobody that I would not believe. I mean, hell, I mean, with all due respect to a lot of those ladies there, I mean, outside of like, you know, interference, we're talking like John Cena versus the Wyatt family, you know, levels of interference. Who's Asuka going to lose to? Nobody. So you got to have Bayley there to kind of give some credibility to the women's division to get everything set up for the next year. But I think once things are on keel, they'll be ready to go. I think she'll debut this summer because I think that'll be I think that should be the summer feud. Bayley Banks. You know, you could just have Sasha go on a mean streak and say, I've beaten everybody. There's nobody who can beat me. Then, boom, out comes Bayley and goes, well, I beat you twice. And, you know, well, that was NXT. This is Raw. You know, you can't, you know, you're not on my level. When they made the calls, I got the call first, way before you do. So, you know, things run a little bit differently up here. You know, you can't, I'm the boss here. This isn't NXT. This isn't the kiddie pool anymore. You can't hang with the big kids. And no, you can't do it. You can't do it. And then just, you know, and boom, set up a series of matches. I think that would be my summer feud. Would you want to see the former TNA guys, former faction and kayfabe say they were invading? No, I don't like invasion storylines. You know, I would almost do, if I was going to do something like that, I'd do something similar to the Radicals, the guys who just jumped ship from WCW. They were just guys who knew each other, so they teamed up with each other because they knew they could trust one another, and they were going to, you know, go in and just basically, you know, kick the door down and, you know, make a name for themselves at everyone else's expense. Maybe I could do something like see them doing something like that. I just wouldn't mention anything with TNA. Period. Nakamura's theme or Baylor's theme? Fuck. I guess Nakamura. I guess maybe because that's newer, but I like that. Do you want Balor as a heel? I've seen him work as a heel. Seen him work as a face. Right now, I want to keep him as a face. I like cheering for him. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Do you hate me, Booms? No, I do not hate you, Ray. I'm crazy about you. Is Sami Zayn the next Daniel Bryan? Yes, absolutely yes. I believe that wholeheartedly. He's a small guy, but he's got a big heart. The fans are completely behind him. He's very charismatic. He's athletic. He can wrestle his ass off. He's already had a Match of the Year candidate, in my opinion, against Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Dallas. He's in the hunt now. He's in the mix right now with Kevin Owens. They had a decent match. They had a good match at Payback. It looks like this thing's not going to end anytime soon. I think these two are going to go. I think, yeah, he's got a lot of places to go. So yeah, I do think Sami Zayn will be the next Daniel Bryan. Now, as far as where that will take him to the WWE Championship, I don't know. But I know for a fact, you know, I'd say he's got a lot of job security. Fans love him. He's athletic. He's charismatic. The fans connect with him. I mean, dude, that's fucking money. Is NXT boring? I wouldn't say it's boring because, I mean, if you watch it, like when they're really on, you can't beat them. It's just they're just protecting everybody right now and rebuilding people and getting people established. You know, they're trying to build up heels, build up faces. They're trying to build up to the next big event. So right now the setup is kind of boring. Like I said, this was this show is okay. When would you promote the revival? I'd let them hang around in NXT a little bit longer, because if they go right now, they're going to get lost in the shuffle. They've already debuted 2 tag teams right now with Enzo and Cass, and then the Vaudevillains. They would get lost in the shuffle rather quickly. I would say they need to replace some like these. You know, you would need to replace somebody like the Dudleys, or definitely like the Ascension or somebody. Just they need, wait right now. I mean, there's no hurry to get up there. Let's see. Last but not least, the King of Porn Style. Ray asked, what's your favorite category? Favorite category of what? I don't know. Bobby Roode versus Nakamura. Who wins? Nakamura. The House of ATP and 3 friends could be making our wrestling debuts this July. Aren't you going to win the never open weight 6-man titles in New Japan? At least do the the previews. Okay, the pay-per-view profits. Yeah, okay. I guess I could get in there and do that a little bit more. Actually, I did do the previews with Mania. I did do that. Yeah, I guess maybe I can make a point to do that. Do some more predictions. So yeah, that's not a big issue, Ray. I could totally do that. Andy Paps, will you do a pay-per-view preview when TNA has a pay-per-view? No, because I have not watched TNA in months. I don't know what's going on. I really don't care what's going on. But so no, I'm gonna decline on that because I could be like these other assholes and just fake the funk and pretend like I know what the hell I'm talking about. But that just wouldn't be fair. I mean, it wouldn't be ethical. So no, I'm not gonna do that. Let's just see here. Can't answer that, Ray. Can't answer that now. So hope you understand. So I'm going to tell everybody to stand by. You got Dave, Sammy Sinister. Maybe I can jump in on this. We've got Lucha Underground review coming up. LK, I missed that little cheeky little bastard. He's supposed to be having a SmackDown review. He's already reviewed TNA. Don't forget, I believe Ring of Honor has War of the Worlds coming up this weekend. We're going to try to review that. We'll start all over again with Monday Night Raw. And of course, you can always find us at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.net, your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, check us out at ProWrestling.me. It's the Pro Wrestling Pub for professional wrestling fans. I do want to thank everybody who's actually signed up this week. We actually had a few subscribers, but here's the thing. We're not seeing a lot of activity. We're trying to get more people engaged. So here's what we did. If you go on the forums, there's actually a list right now where you can list what you believe the match of the year candidates are. And I've already submitted 3, and I know Davis submitted 3. So if you want to find out what they are, and if you think we're full of it or not, or if you think there's something that we missed that we need to consider, go to ProWrestling.me, sign up if you haven't already, jump on the forums, you'll find the thread immediately, post on there. You can also find the archives to all our old shows. So if there's a show that you want to see, you can check it out there. And of course, in the meantime, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We've got all these shows, coming out all the time. So everybody, don't go too far away. Go get you a drink, go to the restroom, make you a snack, make some popcorn, whatever. Get ready. We're going to try to do a Lucha Underground review sometime in the next few hours here, maybe the next few minutes, depends on if Dave will get off his ass or not. Because, I'm sick. I'm going to go spend time with my family because I've got 97 kids and 5 wives and 82 mother-in-laws. Ooh, I live in a condominium. And Sammy's sister's like, I had to pressure wash things today. I had to adult today. Now I'm going to go out and review Lucha Underground. Ugh. So be sure to stand by for that. So in the meantime, this is Boom Boom. And for everybody at KocoSports.com, the boom just went bang, and I am out.